in finals we face a Premier League team in Spurs, who have become a bit of a bogey team for us, haven't they? We haven't beaten them since October 22. Since then, we have lost 4 games, drawn 2. And this season, we have gone on to lose 3 games. First one was obviously under Eric Ten Hag. Then Bruno had that red card, and we went on to lose 3-0. But let's talk a little more about the 2 games we have had in the Amorim era, where Ange versus Amorim we have seen and how that has played out. So I think this is going to be very, very critical for us to see how this plays out and how this is going to be. So let's. What did you make of the first game, the Carabao Cup?
The Carabao Cup game, I felt was pinpointed by the mistakes of the goalkeepers. Like that was the biggest thing which happened in the games. Both Binder and their keeper for I think it was Radio Costa.
Yeah, Foster.
They made unnatural mistakes which led to I think at least 4 of the goals in the game. And look, to be very honest, in both these games, I feel either team could have won it, which isn't a great thing to say when we're going to the final, because even in this final, both the teams are so similar in the situation they are in, because they both are doing very bad at Premier League, but have somehow paved their way to the final of the Europa League, and both have something to win for. Ange has previously quoted, that in his second season he always wins something, and United too have a unbeaten record in Europa League. Amorim hasn't performed well, and he has his performances in the Premier League has been excused because of the run we have had in Europa League. And I don't know. I mean, if United go on and win this one, it'll make it a bit more of a success of a season. It won't We won't shy away from the fact that we have finished 14th, 15th in the league. It doesn't cover that fact, but it does give it a good paper over
Yeah.
a season. Like it will be an asterisk season, and it will be a season where we win like three trophies in 3 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear about the press conference post Europa League to Ange? I think it came up on my feed where the uh, journalist asked Ange that, Amorim and the United players have been talking about the fact that even if they win the Europa League, it is not, a good season for them. It doesn't make up for the kind of season that they've had. What do you have to say about that? You have had a similar league, etc. And he got really rattled. He was like, do you know what it will do for this club to win a trophy? And in his proper Australian accent, right? So I think he got really rattled by it because they have been talking about the fact that Europa League win is going to do loads of good to them, and it is actually a make or break game for both the clubs. It will add a lot to their budgets for the next season. It will provide that Champions League football. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big one. Just coming back quickly to that Europa League game, and I think some of bit of a pattern that we have been seeing. If we look at this Spurs team and how they sort of play, if you look at this, Solanke had started as the striker that day, and look at how deep he was dropping. And what it typically does is, in a system like ours, it tends to take the one of the center backs with them, and then folks like Kulusevski in this game that we are seeing, or Son on the other side, they tend to sort of use the gaps. So which will leave the other right center back or left center back pretty much one on one or two on two when one of these are played on. So I think this becomes a very, very critical aspect, and I saw something similar to that in the other game as well. When we talk about the 1-0 loss that we had against Spurs. So there as well, if you look at it closely, both the players. So Tell had started at the center forward pretty much in that game, and he dropped a little deep. But it was Son and Kulusevski again who were playing on either wings, and they were trying to make those runs. So I think Spurs' gameplay with a lot of intense pressing and remaining high on the pitch is also categorized by this center forward dropping in the wingers or almost becoming one on one with the players. So I think this is going to be a critical play in the game in the final as well. What do you think?
I think I think how you defend in these situations, according to me, is your wing backs they drop in a bit more, and your center backs goes forward to defend a bit more against the player. So that is where your five becoming a four at the back becomes very necessary, and that's why whoever plays on the wing back roles won't be playing. So I have a lot of confidence in Mazraoui actually on having that game intelligence of when to take a run, when to drop deep. I am not 100% sure about Dorgu's. I'm very confident about his engine. I'm just not very sure about his game intelligence. Going forward, is as good player as any. But when it comes to defending, he is not the sharpest. But I am very impressed by Lenny Yoro right now. Lenny Yoro, I thought, had a very brilliant game.
Yeah.
So I do expect Lenny Yoro to be that one who takes the game to forward as well, because he's been very good off the ball and on the ball.
Yeah, and Lenny Yoro has good pace as well. So when the likes of, I don't know if Son will be fit enough to play in that game, but whoever their wingers are, whether it's Brennan Johnson, whether it's Kulusevski, Madison, etc., I think when they are running onto you, I think he has good recovery pace to defend against that. So I think that will become critical. And if we look at this game as well, we had a couple of big chances. Spurs had one big chance which they scored off, which also came from a parried Onana chance that he, when he was trying to save a goal. So again, goalkeeping mistake led to that high XG shot that they had. And in terms of number of shots, I think both the teams had high number of shots here. But the larger theme that I see emerging from these last two games is that we were not necessarily the worst team in either of those two games, and these were relatively well fought games. So we may have lost the last two, but it by no means goes on to say that Spurs are the favorite for this one. I think this one is right in the balance.
Oh, definitely, definitely. When we see the last two games, if we see the highlights of the last two games, we can very easily see that individual errors by the goalkeeper led to the big, the led to the results. Also, I thought Vicario had a very good game in the 1-0. So we had a lot of shots. We were at very good positions to score, but say call it a lack of finishing, clinical nature of the Poyland, or like all of them being low on confidence. But yeah, we just couldn't find the net in that game. But that being said, it was a very well fought game, and I came across out of both of these games not feeling that frustrated out of United, because I do feel very confident when we create enough chances that in the coming games we will be able to take you know finish those chances as well. And I really hope in the next 2-3 games we do apply that finishing touch to the to the teams that we are facing. And even though Premier League is out of our hands, we won't be finishing very high or won't be getting relegated. That being said, I think confidence will be key. Building confidence will be key in the next 2-3 games, and building fitness as well. You cannot just drop your starting 11, which you are expecting to start in the Europa League final. I think everyone should be getting minutes, and that will build the confidence across time.
Yep, and I think the game against Chelsea, we played our first 11 pretty much. Maybe we rotate them out by the end of 60th, 70th minute or so, and hopefully put in a strong performance, stop Chelsea from qualifying for the Champions League, drop them out of significant European competition once again, and hopefully build in our preparation for the game against Spurs.
But Chelsea also are at the final of UEFA Conference League. We'll be supporting our goat Antony in that game. They'll be facing Real Betis. He scored and he assisted another goal in the 2-2 draw against De Gea's Fiorentina. And he's the
Yeah, the lads
cannot get over.
Yeah, the lad scored 2 goals against David De Gea across the two legs in the semi-final. Good stuff. And he could become the first player to win 2 European trophies in the same season.
Wow.
So if we were to go and win the Europa League final and Betis wins the Conference League finals, he will have 2 European medals in the same season. I think the records are suggesting that he'll be the first player to do so.
I see a potential Ballon d'Or there.
Absolutely. Great. So I think this has been a fun one. Thanks everybody for joining in. We look forward to the upcoming games in the Premier League and the final on the 21st of May. Hopefully, we come out of that as champions and as winners of the Europa League. This will do a lot of good to us in the upcoming season. And if you have any thoughts, if you have any suggestions, do let us know. And till then, this is our perch. Let's knock him off. Until next time, stay united.